When people ask you about your holidays, it's fun to show pictures, but how do you do it on Zoom without monopolizing the conversation? Are you going to really just say, can I share my screen now? Take over the whole call, take over everyone's screen, just to show you a little travel picture? No. Today I'm going to show you how to use my secret weapon to look super cool and show you pictures without, not looking super cool. This is Square's TV App Lab number 110, where I show you how to use the tools I've created to look better on video. I'm Michael Forrest and I make Video Pencil, Shoot and QCam Presenter. So let's start off with some updates. So if I look tired,
Hello.
it's because I've had an increasingly restless toddler who's been making it hard to sleep well recently. Nevertheless, I've been grinding hard on the new renderer. So last Friday, I actually decided to make a first video with the new engine. But it sort of took me from Friday, Monday, Tuesday before I could actually get it working well enough to actually record something. But if you missed it, here it is. And I'll just sort of go through it a little bit as well. Hello. This is my first video recorded using the new rendering engine. So the first thing you can see is we've got, I wanted to do like a cool effect with this sort of like interleaved thing and sort of like enter frame and just be able to show that you can sort of put stuff in. And something I'm thinking is I could actually dim this background just to make this stand out more or blur it even more. So I'm going to sort of try some ideas like that. New rendering engine. So we're trying out some interesting effects like this in the background. But look, let's try playing a video. Oh, look, it just appeared. Look, I'm just going backwards and forwards and it's just coming in and coming out. So there are two of me. But yeah, like this is something that I was talking about in my kind of my vision for QCam. But I hadn't actually felt it being sort of having this like musical timing, which is what I really wanted. And it's just been such a dream to be able to just immediately feel the feedback of pressing the buttons, because everything's now like super optimized, super in the right place, multi-threading wise and stuff. So it just means that I can just like backwards and forwards into the video, and it's just coming out immediately, no frames. Let's see if we can put something else. Let's try putting a video in a slide. Oh, what's this? A video. So you see that, yeah, we're kind of like bringing in these videos, and so this is basically now. You can put like exclamation mark. You can put like exclamation mark like image.png, but in the new version you're going to just be able to put like, if there's a video, you can just put like video.mov and it will mov, and it will just kind of like be included in the same way an image would be. So you can see that that's like playing in the card. Even go a bit nuts and we did the screen share, and you saw that sort of like transition there where it kind of went up, and all that's kind of naturally happening just because of how the engine works. So it's kind of cool to see, and it just means really you probably wouldn't have this here, but it means now we can do this split screen effect really easily with screen shares, and it just so it's sort of like I'm maximizing how flexible the engine's going to be. But I think the editor is going to need some. It's sort of like, if you know how to write the code essentially to kind of create the slides, then it's very powerful. But I think I also need to make the editor kind of like hide that from you as well. So that's something that I may have to think about before releasing. Something else maybe you'll notice, like the colors are different. I think the colors, it's using the correct color profiles and stuff, which this isn't quite right. What you're seeing now is a little bit off from what it's supposed to be. So even though it kind of looks okay for me, like if you use your same LUT from another tool, it's not going to quite look the same on the same camera. So this is another thing that I'm just tweaking with the new engine. It's cool, like the transitions and stuff, they're all interruptible and stuff. And what was really cool was how easy it was to make that initial hello effect once I'd optimized things. So I have had lots of interest from people who've seen this little demo, but I do need to make it clear that I'm still a long way from this being ready for production. So for example, what you didn't see is what happens when you kind of like hide the slide. So it's fine, but then oh dear. So you see we get this it was doing this like So I'm in the right place, but it's cropping completely wrong. So there was some issues like that with the transitions. So I just like didn't do the exit transition for that particular demo. So a lot of smoke and mirrors, as video stuff often is. But yeah, that took me like 2 hours this morning just to figure out what was going on there. Um, I thought like maybe I'll just make a list of what's left to do. So here's kind of what's left for the new engine before I kind of release a beta. So first is audio. So I'm actually using the current. I decided to just use the current audio pipeline for that video, because there's a lot to do to figure out how I'm going to manage. Because I'm going to make audio a whole lot more flexible, and so that things can cross fade properly, and like videos can fade in and out, and all this kind of thing, and have like maybe arbitrary plugins, but at least like plugins that I curate and kind of create special effects with. But I'm still kind of thinking about how that's going to work. But that's kind of my next step this week. Slide layouts. The layout engine isn't quite matching what SwiftUI. So this is rendered in SwiftUI, and so it kind of like it does some special behavior, and there's a couple of those I haven't quite figured out how to do optimally in my own engine. So I'll sort of get it close enough so that the current slides don't break. But also, like stuff like this is going to be much better because this will be like actually kind of centered vertically until the next bullet comes in. So it's going to be improved over what I've got at the moment. But I also need to add like tables, quotes, and spaces back in. But luckily, like the syntax of my new engine is so similar to SwiftUI that it's not that complicated to copy the stuff over, and then it's just a case of getting the kind of framework to kind of the behaviors to match. The editor is going to take some work because now that everything is rendered using the same type of pipeline, because if you've seen QCam, you see the camera LUTs missing when you're in the editor, and certain things aren't quite the same in the editor, and that was leading to confusion. But one of the reasons I wanted to unify this was to have everything kind of rendering in exactly the same way, but it means that the way it's clickable and interactive at the moment is no longer like valid because I was overlaying like a real video player, and I'm not doing that anymore. It's coming through the pipeline. So I need to come up with some solutions for all that kind of stuff. I need to figure out like how trimming's going to work, how to, and then stuff like if you can have more than one video on a card, then how do I then show the right like transport controls and trimming controls and volume controls and all that kind of stuff. So and screen shares as well. Like I need to have a more general. Okay, so how is this? Are we connected again? I'm going to assume that things things are okay, and then until someone tells me otherwise, yeah, it does look like that's back. Um, Let me know how that is feeling. Okay, cool. Right, where was I? I've got to find my place again. I've got to find my window. Open recent. 110. And I was on slide. I was on this, wasn't I? Okay, so if we just and also my oh, man, it's okay. There's my teleprompter, and there is my list of things. So audio system, right? Metadata, as I was just talking about. Now there's more flexibility. I may, as I was saying, like I need a way to kind of control the video, do different things. Next thing, like Video Pencil. Is actually like like when it's connected, it has never felt so good. Right? It feels really like there's like a little kind of noticeable a little lag on the current version of QCam, which just isn't there in the new version with the new engine. It just like you can sort of look at the screen up there and draw, and I think that just feels really nice. But there's some complexity to just getting that all perfect, and also like I wanted to really, if you've noticed, like when I transition to a different canvas, sometimes it'll kind of show the old pencil drawing and sort of it'll flicker between them, but I just wanted to get that like super stable and always connected to the same canvas and stuff. The teleprompter I kind of need to sort out because that's I'm sort of thinking about things differently, so that's going to work a bit differently. Slots I've kind of got to make sure they're going to work properly, and then I've got like some optimizations I want to do, like make sure it doesn't use resources. I want you to be able to I want QCam to be able to start up in the background automatically and not like interfere with your processing unless you're actually using it, so that when you do jump on a call, it's already running and you can just kind of get on with it. So I'm trying to get to that level of performance, so that you can just kind of like have it automatically appear when it starts up, and not worry about it until that moment that you need it. And then finally, bug fixing. I'm noticing I think I've broken like the file format somehow. Like I saved out a file from the new version, and then when I opened it in the old version, some stuff disappeared. So I've just got to make sure that I'm not like introducing a load of random bugs. But anyway, that's just a list off the top of my head. I'm sure there will be more things, but the benefits are clear, and working on it it's like feeling different working on this new thing. Like it's the current version of QCam adding a feature, and I'm sure you feel this if you've been using it and you see me touching something. It's kind of like Jenga. Like I just want to do this, but it's kind of like the whole thing can topple if I'm not careful. So it's not a lot of fun. I'm sort of scared to touch anything. But now it's like feeling more like Lego. It's kind of like, okay, I'm going to take this piece and this piece and this piece. Oh, that's cool. Oh, I just need to fill in this. Oh, it's actually feeling like fun. It's feeling like I'm building stuff. I'm in control. And clearly with my metaphors, I've been in the baby's playpen too much. But yeah, also because I'm not relying on like multiple different Apple frameworks to do loads of the stuff. I'm not spending most of my time trying to like reverse engineer what's going on in the stack traces to figure out what's happening behind the scenes in their sort of like proprietary closed off code. It's all in my code now, so I can just like debug through and figure it out. And so as long as I can like figure it out, which I usually can eventually, it's there. I'm not like guessing what Apple's decisions have been and how the stuff works and what this weird error message means, and am I going to be able to take control of that, or am I just stuck with it? All this kind of stuff that you deal with when you're working with frameworks. And then it also means I can add tooling like this to see what's going on. So I've got this whole, I can sort of see the full state of the application. I've got a timeline down here. I can sort of create myself little kind of triggers to try different things out. I've got like a full kind of visualization of the tree that I can like drag around and zoom in on, and like it shows me little pictures. I can click on the thing, it will highlight it in the preview. So I can make all these tools for myself to make it really easy to kind of see what's going on, and just keep adding tools as just so that I have like full visibility into the system when it's running, so that I can really like iron out everything. And because this architecture is so much easier to think about, it's much easier to spot optimizations in things like the video play that I could probably have fixed, but there was so many other things that it was tangled up in that it was like hard to know where the bottleneck might be. But now I'm like, well, there's nowhere else for the bottleneck to be. I wonder if there's oh right, yeah, I can like preload this and then it's going to be ready. All that kind of stuff. It's exciting anyway. So I'm hoping to get a beta out soon, but we'll see. I'm not going to make any promises. So now let's get on to the main thing. I have promised you holiday snaps. Let's see what we've got. How to show your travel pics without taking over Zoom. I'm going to try doing some little musical interstitials today. See how this goes. So you want to see the best way to show your vacation pics on Zoom with your Mac? I know I call it a holiday, but I'll mix in vacation here and there. So if you do find screen sharing awkward, and you'd like to draw and zoom in on your photos and play videos with sound, or even put together a video to share with your family, you're in the right place. So the secret to all of this, and long-time watchers will be very aware of this, but if you're coming to this based on the pitch today or the emails, you just need one simple tool, which is called a virtual camera. What is a virtual camera? Well, a virtual camera gives superpowers to your webcam. So it shows up in Zoom and FaceTime like any other camera, and you can select it in Zoom or Teams like without anyone knowing. But then in that sort of crucial moment where you want to add a little bit of something extra, like maybe a little magical sparkle or a holiday picture, then it's right there. And nobody had to give screen sharing permissions to anyone before you could do it. So what can QCam's virtual camera do? With QCam, you can share. So QCam gives you a virtual camera. Like that's kind of the core of what QCam is. It's a camera that you can queue up with stuff, right? So you can share a picture with QCam directly on your webcam. and then you can draw on it on your iPad. I should really have some pictures to share. Let me grab photos and just grab something, and then here we go. I've got the picture from the thumbnail. So you see, watch, I'm doing this, and then I just go, oh, let's paste this image in. Oh, look, now you've got my holiday pictures. I can zoom in. I can say, oh, this is where we were. This is where we were staying. We can sort of like pan around, say this was an interesting object here, and we can come in and out the way, do all this kind of thing. You can draw on it with your iPad, and you can use a laser pointer. So if I like paste that in again, there's the laser pointer hasn't synced. Let me just come back. It's reconnecting to, yeah, there we go. So there's the laser pointer. So we can do a laser pointer, and now that that's back, I can even do magical sparkles. I need to do these the right way around. And you can, even as I showed you there, you can zoom in and stuff as well. And it's not just pictures, you can share videos too with sound, which, try doing that on Zoom without sharing your screen usually. And videos work just like pictures. You can zoom in, draw, laser point to your heart's content. How do you set up QCam? So let's get into this. Right. So to set up QCam, let's just get onto the right thing. You can just grab that from qcampresenter.com. So here's the website. Download now, and that's going to be on your Mac. So it's for Macs. You want to learn more about it first, you can have a look here. You go to the download screen, it's going to kind of tell you what's what, and you can download it. You don't have to sign in, you can just get it. And then if you're just sharing pictures and videos, you don't actually need to pay anything ever. So like it's free to just like use as a virtual camera for pictures and videos. You don't have to, that's not going to watermark it or anything. The only time when it starts to, if you want to start building and running these presentations, which I'll show you at the end today, then you might want like the $4.99 a month plan, which or just buy it for a little bit. There's lifetime purchases, there's all sorts. But I think the sort of like, the standard plan is probably more than enough if you're sharing pictures and doing normal presentations. There's a $14.99 plan, which is for like serious stuff. So here's what you sort of see when you first fire up QCam. It's just going to want a few permissions. It wants the camera, it wants the mic, it wants screen recording is how it can do screen sharing without, so you grant it to QCam, then you don't have to grant it to anything else. There's a camera extension, and so the camera extension is the virtual camera, and then the virtual mic is how the sound gets from QCam into something else. And then in QCam's main window, today we're going to be our AI generated grammar, but here's the QCam main window. So you just can select your main camera down here and your microphone down here, just like Zoom, and just say, okay, this is the camera I usually use for my face. Just select them down there and you're ready basically. And then in Zoom, you're just going to select QCam as your camera. So just you do this once, you give it permissions, then you select your main camera mic just once ever, and then you select it in Zoom once ever, and then you're good to go forever, right? You don't need to like touch this again. You can choose it as a camera, and you also choose virtual audio if you want to do the video sound as well. So now anytime you join a video call, just make sure QCam's running. So how do you instantly share a picture? Well, you can actually just drag any picture directly onto QCam's dock icon, and it's just going to immediately show up in Zoom. So you just drag any file on your computer, it's just going to immediately show up on Zoom. Or you can click the share bar and select share image, and then you're going to see this sort of like, you're going to see a thing that you can open the image by browsing for it there, or it's just saying you can just drag and drop it into here as well. So you can drag and drop it into the window, you can drop it onto the icon. I've done loads of ways that you can share an image. And you can also copy paste pictures. So if you've got a picture in your Photos app that's like this, you can just right click on it, copy, and then come into QCam and hit this paste image, and then that's going to share the image that way as well. So how do you draw on your pictures? Well, to draw on your pictures, you're going to need an iPad running Video Pencil. So this is the website for Video Pencil. But this basically just works automatically with QCam. If you just put Video Pencil on your iPad, fire it up with QCam running, it's going to find it, and you're instantly going to be able to just draw on whatever you're sharing, or just on your webcam. You're not going to have to do anything else. You've already done all the steps to set it up. You just have to run it. It will work. And then, your virtual camera. So I'm sharing this picture on the screen. Here's me, AI grandma. Here's my Apple Pencil. You don't need an Apple Pencil, of course, but and you can just draw on the picture, and that's you can have your different like tools on the screen. Customize your colors, do different things. There's a laser pointer, different things. So that's kind of what it looks like for you. You're going to have that down there, and you can use your iPad to draw and do stuff. And you can zoom in. So how do you zoom in? If you're using an iPad, you can pinch to zoom on whatever you're sharing. So you don't even have to go to your Mac to do it. If you're on a Mac, you can just pinch with your trackpad on the main window or use the mouse wheel. These music clips have been very unpredictable. The new engine's going to fix it. Your camera. So when it what was the question? How are you picture in picture? So picture in picture, I kind of forget that not everyone even knows. So I'm picture in picture down here, right? I'm sharing something up here, and I'm picture in picture, so you can still see me. So whenever you share something, you're going to be picture in picture. So you can either be just like you in a circle, but if you want to be this kind of cool way, and how our grandma is here, just enable virtual green screen, and you're just going to get that look. So whenever you share something, and of course, you can click on that icon again just to like hide yourself as well. You don't have to be picture in picture, but that's how that works. How to share a video. Well, sharing videos is just as easy, but I'm going to show you like if you have something in photos, just like so. Here's a video I've got. I'm dragging it out onto my desktop, so it's just because of the way Photos stores things, it can be a bit awkward. So just make sure you've got the file on your desktop, and then you can just drag it from your desktop into QCam, and then as soon as you let go, it's going to be right there, and you can just press play to start the video. And that's how easy it is to share stuff. You, again, picture in picture down here, or not if you just click down here to hide yourself. You see, I've got my slots all visible here, so you can see like I've got a few different apps set up that I want to share, but we can look at that another day. How to make so that's how to do the simple stuff. How would you make more of a presentation? Because the chances are you're going to have a few pictures that you want to share. So if you want to surprise people with a little impromptu holiday tour, you or just make a video about it, you can create a script in QCam. So you can start by pressing new script up here. So QCam isn't just a virtual camera, it's also a scripting tool for kind of putting together presentations. So you could go new script, and then that gives you a new script, which I'll show you in a second. But the next thing you're going to do is just collect all your photos and videos into a folder. So grab all the pictures you want to share, like if you've got favorites or something, just export those all into a folder onto your Mac. And then you can just go into here. You can say, there's a little drop down next to add card. You can go add media, and then click on that. And then you can just Command A, select all the files in that folder, and press open down here, and then it's going to make cards for all of your pictures. So each of these cards is a different picture, right? And that's just happened automatically. They can be pictures or videos, and then all you got to do is press present, and that's just going to run on your webcam. You'll be picture in picture, and you can just run through them like that. You can also drag them around to change the order. So if you want to make a video, there's a record button in the user interface as well. So that's just kind of sits, you've got present or you've got record. I can zoom in. I'm just using my iPad to zoom in on this picture. So you can present it to just show it now, or you can press record and it will kind of go into presentation, but then it will be recording. And if you want to make, and then you can sort of go through the photos, zoom in, draw on them as you go. Extra credit captions and travel maps. So if you've traveled to multiple places, why not make an animated travel map? So something I did last year to take people through my travels was this. This was AppLab87 if you want to find it. So I added titles by, you can sort of tag up some text to create lower third, so you can sort of put some titles on there, still be picture in picture like that. That's what the circle looks like. And then I had this little kind of animated video that kind of showed where I was going. So to do that, I used a website called mult.dev, but there are plenty of other options for creating those videos. And what you can do is render out a video and then trim it across different cards. So you see the video was kind of the whole trip. So I was able to just put in the itinerary, and it would like fly from place to place in one big video, and then I just like use the bit from Edinburgh to Italy, and then in a later card I'd use a bit from, like, Italy to Rapallo, Milan to Rapallo, and the different destinations, and then just sort of put the pictures in between these little clips, so you can sort of split it up and then just put the pictures between them. So that's like a really fun way to make a more interesting sort of travel thing. So that, I'm going to say, is where we're up to. That's basically like a really fast tour of how you can share stuff on QCam on your webcam. So this works on any video software on your Mac, FaceTime, Zoom, Teams, like what's it called, WebEx, all the different ones. Anything that uses a virtual camera, anything that uses a webcam, you can use QCam with. And then you've just got this little secret weapon if you just want to quickly show a picture on. And I'm sort of picturing we're coming back to work after our holidays. Someone says, "Oh, what did you go?" And you sort of want to go, "Oh, I just want to show a picture of what I'm doing, but I don't want to be a nerd by kind of like asking to share my screen and then finding the picture, and then they see my email and all this kind of stuff." This way you can just go, "Oh, I can show you if you want. Here you go." Drag it into your webcam. There it is. And people can see it and go, "Ooh, that looks nice." And then you can get rid of it and you can get on with your conversation and then start your meeting. So yeah, that's what you can do. So if you want to like get more into this, I do a weekly webinar at which you can. So the next one is in 11 days. That doesn't sound right. Okay, the next one is soon. It should be next Monday. And all you got to do is like come onto this page, qcam.app/ucan, and you can sign up for the webinar and just try out QCam with me if you want to sort of ask questions or try. Well, I'm thinking like if I get some people in next week, we can maybe do a little travel video and see how far you get. So it's just like an interactive thing with me, the creator of the app there, and you can sort of try different stuff out. So that's my little show for today. It's been quiet, I guess. So hopefully that glitching wasn't too bad earlier. I did press like the go live thing went weird. But yeah, we'll see. So you can come and find us on Discord. It seems like people keep coming in this week. I think like the start of the new teaching and after the holidays, people are coming back, getting Video Pencil. Lots of talk about Video Pencil at the moment. But yeah, you can jump into Discord, get some tips, ask questions, even when I'm asleep. So to play me out this week, if you liked, I mean, we didn't get to hear much of that song, did we? Because it kept. I need to. I don't know. This is all going to be fixed with the new engine. But if you like the song that I was playing, this was actually like a project I did in 2013, was it? Called the Genre Wheel of Fortune, which was this project by Pimp Melon in London, and with some sort of different experimental artists, and basically they sort of like pulled two genres out of a hat, and you had to like make something. So I got the dubious pleasure of I was given easy listening and acid house, and I had to mix those together somehow. And I've always been quite pleased with the result. So I'm going to sort of play that today and maybe try VJing with VDMX, because I've been just trying to get the hang of it. And I thought, well, maybe I'll play the song and like just fiddle with some stuff that Michael Speechley sent me, and just we can like say goodbye. Dan says, thanks, Michael. Some exciting things coming up. Yes, I'm pretty excited. It's great to see. And John says, looking great for travelers. Bon voyage. And you're going, aren't you? Are you already away? Yeah, you're going soon. So you can collect your folder of pictures and videos, and you'll be ready to share what you've seen with everyone easily. Right. Thanks everyone for coming. Thanks for watching. And I'll see you in a couple of weeks. So, is it like the song keeps like cutting out? Let's see if I can get it to play. It's like it plays like the first bit and then like stops. Oh, God, what if I sorry. Let me see if it's like. Oh, it played a bit longer. Okay, there we go. I got it working. I'm just playing on PDF, so I'm just gonna like bring in some stuff. invention of a new sound, a new kind of energy, a new kind of way to feel. It's the envelope and filter of the 303. It's the envelope and filter of the 303.